So in this particular video session, we will discuss about the packing efficiency in a body-centered unit cell. So therefore, let's start with it. So the packing efficiency. In a body-centered unit cell. So in order to understand this, first we need to go through the entire diagram. So let's take a diagram into consideration over here. So let's consider this as a unit cell. So let's say this is the unit cell as what we have, right? And now in this entire scenario, let's consider these as the particles. Okay, now as it is a body-centered particle, of course, we are going to have the particles over here at the corners. So one over here, let's consider these as the particles over here at the corners, right? Now, we will consider one particle exactly in the center of the body. Now, let's say this is a particle in the center of the body. Now, please do note that these particular diagrams are in such a way, it should be in such a way that the particular particles should connect to each other like this. Now, this black color one will represent to us a body-centered unit cell. Now, exactly, it should be as when this particular diagonal. Okay, so this diagonal is the body diagonal, right? So here is our first particle somewhere like these. This is our first particle over here. This is the last particle as what we have over here, right? And this is the center particle as what we have drawn, which is over here, which is connecting like this. Actually, this particular diagram should be like this. Now, over here, we will consider R, this is R, correct. Now, this will be the center point over here. This one will consider as R, this is R, and this one is going to be R. Now, this is going to be helpful further to us. Now, let's name the corners as A, B, over here, C, D, E, F, G, and H, right? Now let's consider one more line over here before proceeding further. I'm going to take one more line that is going to be, that is from the D to F. All right. Now, when we are speaking about a body center unit cell, so in a body center unit cell, in a body centered unit cell. So what we have over here is that there are 8 corner particles. Correct? Now these 8 corner particles are going to contribute 1 by 8 parts. So therefore their contribution is going to be as 1 by 8. This is the first point that we need to know. Secondly, what we need to understand is that there is one body-centered unit cell, right? So therefore the contribution is going to be 1. Now, after this, we need to take into consideration of the total contribution. So total number of spheres. So here, the total contribution is going to be like 8 into 1 by 8, and that is 1. So therefore, 1 corner particle and 1 body-centered particle, right? So total number of atoms which are present in this particular body-centered unit cell is going to be 2. Now, We'll proceed further. So we need to remember this point over here. This is the important point as what we have. So this is the important point as what we have over here. That is the total number of spheres are going to be 2. All right. So now, as we continue further, now here is the important point. First, we'll consider all this particular edge length. So edge length is going to be considered as A. Let's consider them as A. That means this is going to be A over here. All of these are going to be A, right? So now from the triangle, now here is a triangle. We need to use 2 triangles in order to get the body diagonal values. Okay, so therefore from the diagonal, from the triangle, let's take the triangle first. That is going to be EDF. Okay, so I will take into consideration of EDF. So that is over here. This is a point as what we are speaking about. So these are the triangles. So in this triangle, what we know is, if I want to find out, that is the DF square. Okay, so DF square is going to be as EF square plus ED square. So this one is going to be as, so DF square. So let's consider the DF square value as B. Let's consider this as B. Okay, so therefore it is going to be as B square is equal to A square plus A square, and therefore B square is nothing more than 2 times the A square, and therefore B is equal to under root of 2 into A. Okay, I would rather say that this is the important point because we are going to use this point further also. Now, let's consider the next point over here, and that is from the triangle. Okay, from the triangle now let's shift the triangle to A, F, D. Okay, that means A, F, D, this particular portion that we are going to take now into consideration. So in this particular case, we can say that AF, let us consider it as C. Okay, now let's say that AF is nothing more than C. So here, AF square is equal to, it's going to be as AD square plus, that is AD square plus DF square, right? So therefore, C square is equal to AD square. AD is A square plus DF square. DF square is nothing more than B. Okay, so therefore becomes as B square. Thus, we can have it as C square is equal to A square. The value of B square is 2A square. So therefore, it is going to be 3A square as a total value. So therefore, C is equal to under root of 3 into A. So this is going to be our next important point that we need to mark it out. So we have these 2 important figures over here. Now, let's proceed further. If we observe this particular point as what we have already discussed about, that is right from this particular body diagonal, which we have already taken here into consideration, this is a body diagonal, right? So in this particular body diagonal, this value of the body diagonal as what we have got it as C. Correct, but the C is also equal to R plus R over here and plus R over here. That means the body diagonal is going to have the value of 4 times R. Now therefore 4 times R is equal to root of 3A because C value is also the same. Right? So therefore, if we consider the further points, we would say that we'll have A is equal to 4R over root of 3. So this is the important point. Before proceeding further, this should be marked important, right? So let's proceed further now again. So let's clear everything. Now, we had certain important values with us, right? So now total number of particles, what we have already calculated, total number of particles, what we had was 2. That is, one total contribution was from the body-centered unit cell, that is the body-centered sphere, and the another one were from the 8 spheres which were located at the corners. So all of them were giving 1/8 part, right? So total number of particles are 2, that is the spheres, I would say. Now, what we have is the packing fraction. So therefore, the packing fraction or the packing efficiency is equal to, as we have 2 particles, 2 spheres, into 4/3 pi r cube. This would be for the sphere, divided by what we have. The next point is the total volume of the sphere. So total volume of the sphere is a cubed. So a cubed into 100. Okay, so this would give rise to 2 into 4/3 pi r cube. The whole thing is going to be divided by a cube. Now a cube, the value of a, which we have already taken into consideration, was a is equal to 4r by root of 3. So therefore, it is going to be as 4r by root of 3 cube into 100. So now, this would turn out to be 8/3 pi r cube, the whole thing divided by 4r cube. Okay, so now 4 into 4 into 4, that would rise to the 64, right? So 64r cube, the whole thing divided by root of 3 cube, that would give rise to 3 into root of 3, right? So now the things are going to get cancelled over here, such as cubes, correct? So therefore, into 100. Now, when we simplify this entire thing, we are going to get the answer as 68%. Okay, now it is going to be like 68.05%, while the voids, as what we have, the voids are going to be nearby the 31.95%. Okay, so this is going to be for the voids. So let's check all of these. So the packing efficiency in the body-centered unit cell. So let's consider a body-centered unit cell with the edge length as A. Now here, these are the important points. A, with the radius of sphere as R. As a body-centered unit cell, it will be having 2 spheres. We have seen the contributions, correct? Now, therefore, the A cube becomes the volume of the unit cell as taking the edge length as A. We have already taken that into consideration. Now, from the triangle EDF, now let's first take into consideration of the diagram. So here, what are the important points from the triangle EDF? Okay, so that is, we are speaking about this particular triangle over here. So from this particular triangle, as we have already marked over here as B, so therefore we have seen as how did we get this particular value of 2A, right? So we had got that particular value. Okay, after that, we had marked the next one, that is from the triangle AFD. So AFD is over here, that is from this particular point, AFD. So this particular point over here, right? So once we had find the value of B, that was the value of, correct? So that is B was equal to under root of 2 into A, and after that C value was under root of 3 into A. Okay, that is the B and C over here. Now, from the face diagonal, that is the face diagonal is equal to 4 times R, we had already seen. So therefore CD, that is this particular one, is going to become as 4 times R. So therefore, A is equal to 4 times R over 3. So finally, the packing efficiency as 2, that is the total number of volume, into 4 by 3 pi R cube divided by A. And the A value we have already seen in the previous section that the A value is going to be 4R by root of 3. Correct. So taking the entire thing into consideration, we'll proceed further. So therefore, when we complete it, simplify the calculation, it will come across 68.05% as the volume occupied by spheres, and the void volume is going to be 31.95.